Okay, so we'll just give it a moment for everybody to start watching. Chris, can you send us a text and let us know that we're doing okay? Alright, so should we position the camera? There you go. That's good, isn't it? My name's John.
And I am also John.
And we normally do Wirral Code Club at Ascii Library. Obviously that's off at the moment with the lockdown. Hopefully we'll be there in the next few weeks or months. And for the time being, we are just doing these YouTube sessions, which hopefully you guys are able to follow along with. So we've done Scratch and we've done Microbit. So we are now going to do some Python, which is starting to get a little bit more complicated. So what I'd say is have a look, give it a go. But if you do find that it's too complicated, have a look on the YouTube channel and look at Scratch, because that's a great starting place. All of the sessions that we do, we just record and put onto the channel so that you can come back and have a look. Okay, so if we change this so that you can see our desktop. So I'm going to be honest, I'm not a whiz with Python. I have done it in the library with some of the kids. So I'll have a look at some of the projects on the Code Club website, which break it down step by step, and hopefully we can learn some Python together. Have you done any Python in school, John?
Yeah, we did a unit on it in school.
Ah, okay. Alright, so there you go. John's going to show us how to do some Python. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to Google, and we're going to Google Raspberry Pi projects, and the first link that comes up, Raspberry Pi projects, we're going to give that a click, and this is what the site looks like that we want to go to, and we click on Code Club up at the top, and on the right hand side we've got Python. So we start off with module 1, which is the basics, and as we progress, module 2 gets harder. As we go through, you know, the projects get harder. So we're going to be using something called Trinket, which is an online editor, which keeps it nice and simple. We haven't got to install anything on the machine. We may need to create an account. So I'll give you a shout if you need to go and grab a parent or a guardian.
Yeah, I have an account.
Oh, okay, cool. Is it free? You get to do everything in it that you want to?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if you want to save some stuff, you have to pay.
Alright, well we're just going to be using the free option, so don't worry about that. Alright, so Chris just sent us a text saying the picture's good and the sound's good, so let's just go ahead. Alright, so we'll just look at the first project. So, about me. And we're just going to be learning the basics of Trinket and the real basics of Python. So, what does it say at the top of this? Python is a widely used, general-purpose, text-based programming language. So the main difference with Python compared to Scratch and Microbit that we've been using is that the programming language that we've been using in Scratch and Microbit is a blocks-based programming language. So we're dragging the bits of code across in blocks. With Python, we're going to have to start typing it out, and it gets a bit more complicated. But let's see how we go. Alright, so introduction. In this project we will learn how to write a Python programming, telling people all about ourselves. And as with when we were looking at the projects for Scratch, it gives us a preview of what we're going to be building. So it's asking me what year I was born. So I was born in 1980. I'm really old. And it says, in the year 2025, you will be 45. All right. Do you want to have a go, John? Put your year in.
2007.
In the year 2025, you'll be 18 years old. Wow.
Not sure how I feel about that. It's like 5 years.
It is. It's not long. Oh, well. I guess it is long, but it's not really, is it? All right, what will you learn? This project covers elements from the following strands of the Raspberry Pi digital making curriculum. Use basic programming constructs to create simple programs. All right, what you'll need: a computer to be able to access trinket.io and the project. All right, so do we click on this? If we click on this, so if everybody can open another tab, or open your browser and go to trinket.io. Alright, so I've actually been using this earlier on and I have created an account. Don't worry about it now, but later on in the session when we've done some code, grab a parent or grab a guardian and get them to set an account up for you. And it's free. There is a paid option. We're going to go with the free one. We don't want anybody spending money. Alright. So, alright. Let's go back to the project. Saying hello. Let's start by writing some text. Open the blank Python template trinket. All right. We're gonna do exactly what it's saying on the screen. We're not gonna do our own thing. We're gonna follow the project, and that means that it should go to plan. So we're gonna click on this link, jump2.cc python-new. So we're gonna click on that. Alright, so this isn't what I expect, I don't think. I'm going to click run. No. What we're going to do is we're just going to, if this is what you're seeing as well, we're going to delete lines 2 and 3 because that's not what I expect to see. I'm just going to delete that. I've just highlighted it and click delete or click backspace. Or the other thing I can do is I can just put the cursor in front of it and I can click backspace. Alright, so there's this declaration at the top which it lets us know that we're using Python 3, which is the most up-to-date version of Python.
It's a comment because it has a hashtag in front of
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's the first thing we learned.
So the hashtag means that it just jumps past this piece of code. It doesn't read it. It's there for informational purposes only. Alright, so. Alright, you be in charge, John. I'll just read things out.
So
Right.
we're going to start off by learning.
Alright, I'll read, you do it. Let's start by writing some text. Alright, we've opened the Python template. We've deleted those lines 2 and 3, just left the declaration at the top. Type the following into the window that appears. So we're going to do on line 3, we're using the print function. And it's literally, we're going to print the words hello. So do you want to go to trinket, John? Switch to trinket. Alright. So print. Now, one of the things that we'll notice is as we start putting brackets in, the Trinket interface is clever enough to know that we use pairs. One of the things that we need to be aware of when we're putting, I don't know what they're called.
Strings.
Well, a string would be the value, wouldn't it? But these brackets and these quotations that are needed in order for the code to work, they're always in pairs. So if there's a bracket, there's an opening bracket and a closing bracket. If there's quotations, there's an opening quotation and a closing quotation. All right, so what are we going to print? So just do what it says and do hello.
So I think the brackets mean that that's what it's going to print, and then the speech marks means that that's the string.
Right. We'll read the project and see what it says. So yeah, you are right. It is a string. The word hello is a string.
And if we run it,
click run.
Then it should just come up hello in the simulator.
So we can see John's put print, open bracket, open quotation, and then the word hello. Close quotation, close bracket, and then we've clicked run up at the top, and we can see that in the right hand column it's where the code is executed. It's working there, and it's really simple, but that's the first bit of code that we're going to do. And one of the things that we need to be aware of when we're doing the Python is it really is reliant on the code being correct. So if we take one of the brackets off and click run, it breaks. We get this at the bottom: syntax error, EOF, which I think is end of file, in multi-line statement on line 4. Wow. What does that even mean?
I thought it was on line 3.
Alright, anyway, so
Oh, it says 4.
the main thing to be aware of is if we get the big red error message at the bottom, something's not right. And it's just looking back, and we can see, as I say, things always come in pairs. So we put the bracket back.
And it works.
And we click run. The error's gone. And Ben being noisy in the background.
Yellow cat.
Alright, so so the line, and it's telling us about the declaration, just tells us that Trinket is using Python 3, the latest version. Click run, and you should see, just bear with me.
Yeah, I think in the instructions it also says if you remove the end, then the end bracket, then it will do an error. But if we do the string, this one uses a different one. It doesn't use speech marks, it uses apostrophes, I think.
Where are you up to?
Well, I was just talking about the instructions say about the errors as well if you remove any part of it. But I was just looking at it, and it says like they're using apostrophes, whereas we're using speech marks.
Yeah. So either one works, whether it's an apostrophe or whether it's a quotation. I think they both work, don't they? Alright, so you don't need a Trinket account to save your project. If you don't have a Trinket account, click on the down arrow and then click the link. So if we go back to Trinket, is this one?
No. It's on the share bit.
It's this one. And we can go link, and we can just copy the link.
And it's on your clipboard so that then you can use it.
So I don't know. You could save it in a text file, or you could save it as a bookmark, or you could email it to yourself. But you can create the link, and that means that you can go back to the project without actually saving it. So click the cross in the top right.
Are we going to try and make some of those animals later by like copying the lines of the animals?
Possibly. Let's see what it says. Alright, so if you have a Trinket account, you can click remix to save your own copy of the trinket. So what does remix do? So we go, I've already started, haven't I?
It's not on your account, because it just has a one thing.
Save changes to your remix. Okay, so we won't spend too much time looking at that, but basically at the end of the session, if you grab a parent and get them to sign up for an account, go for the free version, and then you should be able to save the projects as well. So challenge, what's on your mind? Change the code you just wrote to print something more interesting about you. So do you want to get it to print something else as well, John? Go on. What are you going to put on the next line?
Do print.
Right. It says in the project, don't do anything that is identifiable. So don't put the school or whatever. Just do something that's right. Put it on the next line, matey.
I think everyone already knows my name, so.
All right. Dude, my name is John. You're going to capitalize the my as well.
Yeah.
All right. So click run.
Usually you can set it to auto run when you edit the code.
So I think
it's with the down arrow. You can set it as auto run.
I have seen that. I'm not sure how you would do it. Alright, so Ascii Art. Let's print something more fun than text. Ascii Art, pronounced ASCII, is creating pictures out of text. Let's add some art to your program. A picture of a dog. So, can you do a picture of a dog?
Can I just copy the...
Well, we'll do what the project says.
I can copy the print thing so that I can just...
Alright. So just look at what it says in the project again. So
Here is a
it's
picture
quite
of the dog.
specific. It's here's and there's an apostrophe. So yeah, there you go. Because that leads on to something that they're going to show us. Alright, so do your next line. Yeah, do your picture of a dog using Ascii Art.
Can I copy that so that I can put
Do
it on the next
the
line?
dog. Come on. Oh.
Yeah, I
right,
can
so
copy it so I can just paste it onto the next line to make it easier.
alright, well you need to remember that not everybody is that's a picture. Alright,
Yeah,
so
I know,
what John's doing is he's copying the line. So he's clicking the left arrow, dragging the cursor over it, doing Control and C to copy, and then he presses enter to go to the next line, and then he does Control and V, which then copies it back into the
It's
thing. Alright,
Just to make it a
Do-
bit faster.
do a dog.
So go O underscores, and then we go
Which is a pipe. So the pipe is shift and then the key next to shift. Yeah, there you go.
so there we have a dog.
Alright, so click run and see what happens.
I'm gonna give him a tail.
Okay. Click run and see what happens. Oh, it worked. That's not what I was expecting. Alright,
What were you expecting to happen?
I was expecting it to break.
Why?
Because, do you know why it's not breaking? So in the project, it tells us
Oh, because there's
to
an
use
apostrophe.
apostrophes.
There's an apostrophe
Yeah.
in the thing.
So, alright, let's pretend like we've been using apostrophes
the
the entire time.
And it's just broken.
Alright. So now...
Oh, and it's reading that bracket now.
Alright, now, if we click run, it breaks. Syntax, bad input on line 5. And the reason for this is we were talking about things working in pairs. Well, if we look at the word here, every string, every piece of text needs to be encompassed in either apostrophes or quotation marks. And what's happening here is it's going start at the beginning of here, end at the beginning of here. So it's not looking, this isn't the second apostrophe is here. So the way around that is, do you know the way around that? Do you know what to do?
By using quotation.
No,
by using
okay, so there you go. I didn't think of that, but that is, we could use quotations, but as well, we can do this. We can put a backslash in prior to the quotation, or prior to the apostrophe. So it looks at the backslash, and then it looks at the apostrophe, and it says this isn't the end in it. So now if we click run,
it's still broken because you put 2 of each.
Yeah, it's really important to have the bits correct. So there you go. So we put a backslash in prior to the apostrophe, and it now works.
I'm going to change them back to these because that's not
just working. As I say, the kids in the library, they always try and kind of deviate from the project, and what we'll find is if we just do our own thing, it may not work at some point. So let's stick with the project, John.
I still feel like the quotation, the speech marks are better.
All right, but let's just somebody's taking their time to set the project out, so let's follow what they're saying. All right, so. At this point, hello, my name is John. Here is a picture of a dog which we've made up from Ascii Art. Alright, so what's the next thing? It talks about if we click run, we were getting an error, and that's because of the fact that the paired, what are they called? They're not quotations. Apostrophes. Okay.
Well, they can be.
That's because your text contains an apostrophe, which Python thinks is the end of the text. And we've spoken about the fact that we fix it by putting a backslash in. It also talks about fixing it by, you can put 3 apostrophes in, or we could use quotations, but to just stick with the project, we have put a backslash in. All right, if you prefer, okay, cool. We'll move on. What's the next thing? Challenge about yourself. Write a Python program to tell others about yourself using the text and Ascii Art. So, again, let's just put a bit more text in. Now, you guys could pause this if you wanted to here. You can take as long as you want. Anybody watching it on the recording afterwards, again, just pause it. Take as long as you want, but for the purposes of the video, here's some text that we prepared earlier.
What's that Ascii Art that you've done meant to be?
Well, let's put it in and let's see. So,
You didn't press control.
Control and V. So it says, "We are from the Wirral," and then what do you think that picture is?
Don't know. Is it a ferry?
Does it look like a ferry, do you think?
No.
No. Alright, well, it's difficult drawing an Ascii Art, isn't it? But, yeah, it's supposed to be a ferry. There you go.
Oh, I see, because then that it would be, if it was a steam-powered ferry.
Yeah. And if we wanted to put some spaces in between the lines, I think the way that we would do that is if we just do...
Just print. And then you just do a space mark. A space order.
I think if we just leave it blank, will it do it then?
No, you have to do
it did, it worked.
Can we do the elephant now?
Put another space in. I think the elephant breaks the code. Let's follow the project.
I can't even do the elephant.
Alright, so we put some spaces in, and the way we've done that is just print, open bracket, apostrophe, and then the closing. So let's put some spaces in. Alright, so We've been focusing on the print function. So what would the function be if we are doing maths?
It's an equation.
An equation function. All right.
So that specifically would be a takeaway function.
All right. You can also do calculations and print numbers. Let's find out how old you'll be in the year 2025. To calculate how old you'll be in 2025, you need to subtract the year you were born from 2025. Add this code. So we are going to do you want to type that in? So we'll put another space in.
I'm just thinking, because of the example it asked you, I'm kind of remembering what we did for that.
Alright, so because these are numbers, because it's a different type of function, we're not going to encompass them in, what are these called? Apostrophes.
Apostrophes or quotations, because they are used for quotations.
So we're just going to put we're going to put a sum in. We're going to do 2025 minus 2006. Is that going to work? So we click run. So then we can see the number 19 is being output.
Yeah, I definitely remember when we did equations, it was something to do with integers and floats.
Alright, well, you'll get onto them in a minute, won't you? Notice that you don't need to put the quotes around the numbers. You'll need to change the number 2006 if you were born in a different year. You were born in 2007? No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
The funny thing is, most of my friends were born 2008.
So, in year 2025, you're going to be 18. Alright. So let's get a bit more advanced. You could improve your program by using input to ask the user their age and store it in a variable called born. So we're going to do, just prior to the line that we put in, we're going to do born equals input. What year were you born in?
I remember now.
So we do.
Yeah, there was an integer at the bottom of the page. Just there. On the next
Born equals input. What year were you born in? So what this will do is it will, let's see, click run, and now it's got an input option. It's got this. Is that flashing if we click in?
It usually
Does it flash? Yeah, it flashes. You type the year you were born in. Go on.
Well, it's actually not going to do it because we haven't got the code right, but it is just going to sit there.
Okay.
And it just says 18 because I've put the right number in. You have to reset the code now.
It's because this is here, isn't it? That shouldn't be there. Is that right?
Yeah, I did just say that. You have to do, make it variable. Because if you just do a word equals, that sets it as a variable.
Run your program and then enter the year you were born. Do you get an error message? Alright, we didn't get an error message. Is that because print 2025 minus born? Sorry, it wasn't quite right, was it?
Isn't it because it doesn't think of it as a number yet because we haven't set it as an integer?
2007.
It's not going to work because
okay, and that's fine. That's what we were expecting, wasn't it? It expects there to be. Oh, sugar.
I did just tell you that.
All right. So it's easy to type into the window. We've got to make sure we're clicking into the right window.
Your mouse is on the other screen.
There you go. Error. Excellent. Alright. Run the program and then enter the year you were born. Did you get an error message? That's because anything typed into your program is text and it needs to be converted to a number. You can use int to convert the text to an integer. So an integer is just a whole number. Alright, so we're going to put born equals input. What year were you born? Let's check our code. Born equals input. What year were you born? Excellent. The next line is born equals integer born. So we do born equals int born. Is that right?
When I think about it, in school we learned to put the integer on the line with the input, but that's...
It's just a different. It's a different way to do it, isn't it? There's lots of different ways to do it.
You put it as like input int or into input.
All right.
And you have another set of brackets.
I appreciate the fact that you've done things differently in school, but let's not overcomplicate it. Let's follow the project.
Okay.
All right. So let's just look back at what they're telling us to do. So born equals input. We're telling it that we want the person to be able to input something. And the text is going to be, what year are you born? So we click run, we can see that it's got an input option here, which is flashing, what year were you born? And then we're saying that the variable born is an integer, which is a whole number. And then the output is going to be 2025 minus whatever that variable is. So all a variable is just a stored number. A variable is like a container where we can put a number into and then we can call it back out. So if we do this, go on, put your data, put the year you were born in, John. All right.
So that works, and then we can try it again with your
data,
but you have to press into the
So don't do what I've done, but make sure that you're clicking
the box every time.
Click into here. 1980. I'm going to be 45 years old in 2025.
I made a calculator.
Did you? All right.
And what I found is if you put in the answer, if you put the thing in one text box, and when you press enter, it'll take you to the next text box, rather than putting you back into the code.
All right. You read the next bit.
So it says you can also create another variable to store your calculation and print that instead.
All right. So you can create another variable to store your calculation. So age equals 2015 minus born.
It's saying that a variable can be a calculation with another variable in it.
Okay. I'm glad you know what you were doing. Alright, so we're doing age equals 2025 minus born. So, you want to type that in?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it there. Go on.
I cannot type.
So the other variable, we're calling it age.
Age equals 2025.
Does it matter that there's no spaces? Have we just done that for...
You can put spaces in if you want to. I think it helps break up the code a bit.
It just looks uniform, so do keep it consistent with the line above. So age space equals space. Here, look, here.
Oh. I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
Alright, and we will get rid of this line here, yeah?
No.
No?
You have to just have it as born.
Print
age.
in the year. Okay, so
So we
adding
just
another
need
line in.
Needs to print our new variable, so you just want to change that out for age.
In the... Alright, so it's a string. So we're doing quotation.
And when we put
In the year you were born. I'm going to output 3 bits of... I'm going to output 3 things. So we're doing in the year you were born, which is a string. and then we put a... My brain's not working.
In the year you were born, 2025 minus...
No, look, okay, so age... It's comma, isn't it? Oh my goodness. Crikey. And then we're doing another string, and we're doing years old. So, print string in the year you were born, and then we're pulling the variable in, which is age, and then we're doing another string, years old. So, should we press run and see what happens?
Yeah, I'm very confused about what this is saying. Let's go 2007.
In the year you were born, 18 years old. Alright, I've confused something there, haven't I?
In the year you were born, 18 years old.
Oh, in the year 2025. Sorry. Here's me saying, listen, follow the project. Alright, so in the year 2025. Alright, so we click play again. Go on, type your...
In the year 2025, 18 years old.
Look, here we go. Just type your... Click here.
I'm telling you now, this is going to be wrong.
In the year 2020... Okay.
You need to put you will be.
You will be... Click play. 2007. Oh my goodness. This isn't going good, is it? Click into the right hand column. Put your year of birth in. In the year 2025, you will be 18 years old.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
They put a U with the backslash.
Finally, you can make your program easier to understand by adding a helpful message, and that's exactly what we've done. So if we just go back and look at what we've done here. So we have created a variable called born, and as I say, a variable is just a stored number. So if you think of born being the ID of the number, and we're saying that this is an input, so we're allowing the person to input the number that is that variable, and there's a string associated to it so that it displays what is the year you were born. Yeah. Alright, so the person puts it in and it's then stored as the number born, the variable. And it's saying, we've said that the born variable is an integer, and all that means is that it's telling the computer what to expect. It's saying this will be a whole number. Alright, we've then created a second variable called age. And age is the value 2025 minus the variable born. This is so much more complicated than Scratch. We then finish by saying print, and we output the string. In the year 2025 you will be. We then output the variable age, years old. Alright, we do it one more time. We do my date of birth. 1980. In the year 2025, you will be 45 years old. Alright, so does that all make sense to you, John? We're kind of there. So I mean, we've spoken about variables. We've spoken about the print function. We've spoken about the fact that we need to classify the different types of values. So things like integers and strings. Alright, and then we've started to use them together so that we can kind of use those variables and output different results. Alright, let's see what the project says now. So, challenge, your age in dog years. Oh my goodness. Write a program to ask the user their age and then tell them their age in dog years. You can calculate a person's age in dog years by multiplying their age by 7. In program, the symbol for multiplication is the asterisk symbol, which is that little star.
It's like the division is like a backslash
Yeah,
or a
forward slash.
Yeah.
Which you can easily type by pressing Shift and number 8. So I mean, if we quickly look at this, so we're not doing the 2015 anymore, are we? So what would we say? We would say, what is your age? Is that right? So we're saying, so would we have this as the age variable? So we say age. Age equals input. What is your age? And we would say that the age is an integer.
To change the other two bonds.
And we would then say age equals age times 7.
I think it would be dog. I think if we set the dog years to dog.
Let's see what happens. So your age in dog years is, and then we would do after the apostrophe. My brain's not working. So then if we do run, what is your age? Click into the right column. 12.
And it's wrong because basically
that needs to be
that's
age.
born.
Yeah.
It won't let me highlight.
Yeah.
So,
just do Control and Z. So if we've typed something
so
and we want to undo it, we do Control and Z on the keyboard. Oh.
What did you? What?
Go on.
I was just backspacing that.
Age.
That needs to be set to age. This can't be. Age can't be age times 7 because then it would times it by 7 infinitely.
7, 12. I think you're wrong. I think we got it right. You're 84 years old in dog years.
No, age equals integer. It's age equals age.
Yeah, because it's saying
7.
Oh, dog. Alright, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, call it
so we
dog.
set that to dog. And then dog equals age times 7.
Then set the age there to
Why?
dog.
This to dog. So then we click run again. We do I think that's a design flaw in Trinket. They need to fix that. Alright, so we've created the variable age and we've set it as an input. And we output the string, what is your age? And we're saying that age is an integer, which is a whole number. We then create a second variable called dog, and dog equals age times 7. So we do print, string, your age in dog years is, and then we output the variable dog. So, your age in dog years is 84. Wow. Oh, I don't want to know, John. Alright, so, right click in the right hand column.
Left click.
What is your age? 39. I'm not quite there yet. Your age in dog years is 273.
So if you had the dog that was 39 years old.
Alright, so crikey is the more. Calculating text. Did you know that you can calculate text? What will the following program print to the screen? See if you can guess it correctly before running the program. Alright. Guys, what we're going to do is we're going to stop here. Hopefully, we've not lost you completely. Hopefully, it makes sense. And we've started to make sense of what Python is. As we progress, we'll do some more programs over the next couple of weeks. And we're going to learn what the functions do, and it'll start making more sense with variables and classifying the variable, the various inputs and whatnot. All right, so finish the challenge off. if anybody has done it, maybe get your parent, your guardian, send us a photo of the project that's finished. We love to see what people are up to. All right, so we're going to try and do it next week at 4, next Wednesday at 4. So let us know how you get on, and we'll see you all next week. All right, say bye-bye, John.
Bye-bye.